Hey, welcome to my Mystic Monologue. Today I'm talking about basically what is it that your life proves. So let me explain a bit what I mean with that to set the foundation for the monologue itself. When I think about inspiration, people who inspired me, um, it's usually people that did something for the first time, for example. Uh, Somehow they proved that something was possible, which, for example, people didn't believe was possible, or they discovered something new, which people didn't even know exists before. So I believe that every human in their life proves many different things simply by doing them. And now if I think about my own life, I'm also proving different things. For example, right now I'm proving that you can upload a video to YouTube when you're nervous about doing that. And I think that's a very valuable proof to probably thousands and millions of people have proven that before me, and it helped me to do the same. And I think you can use this lens to look at everything you do in your life. This also goes back a bit to one of my previous videos, which was called How to Set an Example. This video is not about examples, but about proofs. So really, yeah. And there's one topic that for me is personally very important, which is the topic of immigration. I already mentioned this in my first video. And with this topic, I often notice this perspective about having a proof. I think immigrants are very courageous and very resilient, and I think it is one of the biggest challenges to live in another country where the language might be different, the culture and customs might be different, people recognize you as sort of an outsider. You basically have many more challenges that locals will have simply by being in another location. And I believe that in general it's very good to have people immigrate, basically live. They are born somewhere in this world and they move somewhere else to live there. That is something I want to see in this world, because it's basically the hardcore version of travel. If you've traveled before in another country for longer periods of time, not just for like 1 or 2 days, I assume you experienced how valuable and life-changing travel can be. Seeing another place forces you to uncover so many hidden assumptions that you made about life, about yourself, about people, and it is usually very it encourages your personal growth. And also I think it encourages the growth of many people coming together. And as I said, I think immigration is kind of the extreme version of travel, right? You travel to another country and you live there for the rest of your life, or at least for the foreseeable future. um, and I think, in history there was a first immigrant. There was someone who moved to another country before anyone else did it, right? And so again, back to the topic of the video is, what does your life prove? And I've been asking myself this question as well. You might have seen one of my other videos about playing the setar. I started to learn playing the setar, and I am very determined in just learning to play this instrument. I've been playing some instruments when I was growing up as a kid until I was like 10, let's say. And I know how difficult it is to learn an instrument. And I would have never thought that I'd pick up learning an instrument so late in my life. Like, I'm almost 30 now. But I just want to prove that you can learn playing the setar when you're almost 30. And hopefully, you know, other people will do the same. I think if you want to achieve something like learning an instrument, you can do it. Like, no matter how old you are, no matter how busy you are, it is a thing that's easily possible. The question is, will you actually do it? But there is so much doubt usually, right? I had so much doubt before having the setar in my hands. I didn't know if I will be able to play it. Now, after some days of getting started and so on, I just know I will just do this for a few years, and then I'm able to play the setar. Another similar example is learning languages. I'm very interested in language learning, and I'm constantly trying to learn new languages, and it is a very difficult thing. But again, it is something that's possible, and I want to prove to the world also that this is something that's possible. Especially, I live in Berlin, and many people speak English here. So when you come to Berlin and you don't speak German, it is difficult here to learn German. In other parts of Germany, I think it's easier to pick up German because less people speak English. It's not so common to speak English in other parts of Germany. In Berlin, it's very common. So there might be someone who comes to Germany, to Berlin, and after a year speak pretty good German. And then they proved that it's possible. And I hope that all humans are finding something for themselves that they can prove to the world and be an inspiration, basically. Learning an instrument, learning a language, these are all things that we basically already know is possible, right? Many people learn a foreign language growing up in school, maybe, or they grow up in a bilingual household, for example. But when we get one level higher, you can also prove things that no one has ever done before. And I think this is where it gets really interesting. When I think about doing that, I get really excited. It's a huge challenge. But this is something that motivates me so much. What is something that I want to see in this world and that doesn't happen right now? And I'm able to do it. Maybe it will take me, let's say, 10 years. Maybe it will take me 30 years. Maybe it will also just take me 3 months. There are different things. There are different scopes we can talk about, right? But this is where I get really excited. And I started to become more to reflect more about what are those things that I want to prove? What are those things that I want to see in the world? But they aren't. So I thought this is a very interesting perspective that I would like that I wanted to share with you all, and I hope that you find things that you want to prove with your life, and you actually go ahead and prove them. I hope this was an interesting video to you. See you around